Namaste and welcome to the second practice in our series of the moon phases. So if you have not regularly followed the phases of the moon, you can put an app on your phone so that you'll always know where the moon is at to correspond with the practices that you're doing. But right now we've moved from the new moon, which is no visual of the moon at all, to the waxing crescent. And I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but in the waxing phase, the moon is getting lighter and brighter. And so the energy is also moving stronger as well. And when it's in the waxing phase, which is building, you'll see the light on the right-hand side of the moon when you look up into the sky. And although we can't see the influence of the moon on the earth itself because it's solid, it can be seen in the ocean with the tides because the ocean is liquid and moves with the pull of the moon. And so when the moon waxes or wanes, our mind and our energy is also influenced. And so this waxing crescent moon, which means it's smaller than half, this phase signifies intention. So this is where we're working with our intentions, bringing energy into our intentions. And we're generating light and tapas in our practice, filling ourselves up with what we want and manifesting that. And so this is about action and it's about self-confidence. And so that's all about our third chakra. So we're going to be working a little bit with this part of our body throughout our practice, or a little bit of a focus, not huge. But we can think about little seeds. And if you did the new moon practice with me during the new moon, we talked about the seed of potential. Well, this is the part, the phase where this seed that had swelled is now sprouting and rooting. And so let's just do a quick little connection meditation with this theory, this process that we're looking at here. So bring your right hand to your belly, left hand to your heart as we connect with breath. I'm going to switch it actually so I don't hit my microphone. And close your eyes and breathe into the belly and envision this little seed growing its roots down into the earth, this seed within you. And this tough little sprout is pushing its way up. And it's filled with courage and optimism for the future. And the earth all around you is being permeated with these brand new roots, grounding you, providing stability. Take a breath here. And as you exhale, allow yourself to feel anchored. Your foundation firm and true. And as you inhale, feel the life that pulses through your being. And with each breath, you grow stronger as you draw up the energy of the earth. And feel yourself bursting with the power to create. Be present. And focus on bringing energy in as you focus on your inhales. And take a few minutes to come into the energy of being present. Focusing on what you are wanting to draw in, to attract. What kind of abundance and the visual image of what that is. And with eyes remaining closed, release your hands from your belly and your heart. And with palms facing up, as you inhale out and up towards the growing moonlight, and exhale your hands through heart center bringing that energy of what it is you want to your heart. And let's do that a couple more times, staying focused on your intention or your mantra. Inhaling up, 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 and exhaling, bringing it to your heart. And again, arms open wide and reaching up towards that growing moonlight and drawing into your heart. Each exhale, we're bringing it in. And then maybe you create your mantra as you inhale, arms wide and reaching up. You say, I am. And as you exhale, say your intention. So that might look like, I am, as you inhale, and as you exhale into your heart, protected or joyful or loved or whatever your intention is. Let's do 3 more arm movements with our breath like that. Inhaling up, I am. And exhale to your heart, stating your intention. 2 more breaths like that. Inhale, I am. And exhale, your intention. And last one. Inhale wide. Reach towards the growing light. I am. And exhale your intention into your heart. And release your hands down. You can open your eyes. And we will move into our physical part of our practice, starting now. All right, so we're going to start with a round of Kapalabhati breath. And that's just to warm up the body, clear out everything so that we're fresh and ready to go, getting rid of the old, and we start with our new intentions. So we're just going to do 1 round, and I invite you to have your hands either on your knees or out to the side with thumbs up. We're all going to start with reaching up to the sky, and we will do an inhale retention at the end of our Kapalabhati. You can be sitting on blocks, a bolster, meditation cushion. Let's take an inhale, reach up to the sky, make fists, thumbs touching, and then as you exhale, our arms either parallel to the earth or hands down to your thighs. Take 1 more inhale and begin at your speed. It doesn't have to be fast, but we want it to be crisp. Each exhale, the belly snaps towards the spine. Keep going. You might begin to feel some warmth building. Three more rounds. And then we inhale. We can all reach up to the sky, either connecting the thumbs or intertwining palms and pressing the palms up, and we retain the top of the inhale gently without strain. Softening through the body as we retain the inhale, building prana. Whenever you need to release, slowly let the exhale happen and the arms come down. Just take 3 breaths here, seated, before we move on. And then we're going to make our way onto hands and knees. So removing your props if you were sitting up on a prop. And let's come into tabletop. So we're going to move through cat-cow initially, just warming up our spine, drawing the heart forward. Arms and legs are straight. Toes can be either straight or curled under, your preference. And as you exhale, the navel center that we were just working with in Kapalabhati moves towards the spine. And let the head drop, let the back of the neck relax, let the tail drop. And then alternating between these two, drawing the heart forward. And exhaling, drawing the navel towards the spine with our focus at that navel center. Draw your heart forward, imagining that light of the heart shining forward as the light of the moon begins to build. And we do one more round like this. And now on this next one, as we inhale into cow, we're going to exhale and look towards our right hip. So as though we're creating that shape of a crescent round on our left side body. And then inhale to center, and as we exhale, look towards the left hip. And let's do a couple more to each side, coming to center as we inhale and exhaling, drawing hip and shoulder toward one another. Coming back to center. And one more round to each side. And last one over to the left. Back to center, and then we're going to move into extended table. Or, I forget what, I recently heard a new name for it. I think it was pointed dog, I can't remember. Anyway, let's start with our left leg straight out behind us, and you can have your toes down if that's more appropriate for you, or lift the toes up as you extend right arm. So we take a couple of breaths here, extending, growing our length here. And then as we exhale, drawing knee and elbow toward one another, and really drawing in at the belly and pressing the spine up to the sky as navel draws to belly. Let's do two more. Inhale, let's lengthen. Exhale, draw in, curl up, and really lift that thigh as much as you can. And last one on this side. Draw it in, draw it in, draw it in. And release. So we're beginning to build some energy in the navel center. Let's do the right leg straight out behind, either foot, toes touching as you extend, or float it up. And take a couple breaths here, just lengthening a little bit more. And use your next exhale to draw it in, draw the belly in, draw the spine up to the sky, draw the thigh towards the belly. And inhale, lengthen, grow that length. Exhale, grow that tapas, that heat within the body. One more. And exhale. And release down. And now we're going to curl the toes under. Take an inhale in cow, and as we exhale, hover the knees. So we're connecting to that power at our power center here. Again, lifted through the shoulders. Take one more inhale, and exhale, come into downward facing dog. Nice breath here, beginning to lengthen the spine, lifting the hips up off of the spine. Take one more breath. And let's walk, step, or float your feet to the top of the mat. Let's inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, circle your arms wide as though you're drawing that full moon that we're waxing and building up towards, and draw into your heart center. So we're going to do some sun salutations. We're going to add a couple of little things, some boat pose into our sun salutation. So listen carefully as we go through. I'll be adding them in where there is forward folds. So let's start by inhaling up to the sky. And as we exhale, actually we're going to do one regular sun salutation, and then we're going to add in these little bits. So inhale, reach up to the sky. And as we exhale, we fold forward. Inhale, lift and lengthen. And as we exhale, step back into plank pose. So this is just a regular sun salutation, getting the body warm, but we're going to pause and plank for just a moment. And then exhale, Drop your knees, lower down. Lengthen the feet, lengthen the legs. Inhale, regular cobra. And then bring your hands out to the side, up on your fingertips, elbows bent. Let your forehead come down. And inhale, draw up in this wide-armed cobra variation. Exhale, come down. Hands under your shoulders, press up and back. Either a little pause in child's pose if your back needs the break, or straight back to downward facing dog. But we're all going to be in downward facing dog here, even if you took that little pause. And then take one more inhale, and as you exhale, step, walk, or float to the top of your mat, letting the inhale breath lift your heart. The exhale, we bow, bend the knees, draw that big circular moon as we reach up to the sky and draw into our heart center, bringing those intentions, that mantra with you. In fact, let's do our mantra 2 more times. As you circle wide, palms up, reaching up, I am. And exhale, draw your intention into your heart center. State that intention on the exhale. Inhale, I am. Exhale, say your intention one more time. Inhale, I am. And exhale, whatever that intention is for you. And release. So we're going to go into some deep chair poses. So hopefully this is okay for everybody's knees. And if it's not, you'll use your hands to modify. We'll start by inhaling, reaching the arms up. And as we exhale, sitting down in chair pose. And we're going to pause in our chair pose for just a moment. And I should have said have your feet hip width apart. And if they're not, bring them a little further apart. And then continue coming all the way down until you can release gracefully into boat pose with knees bent. We're just going to start with knees bent for this first one. And then you can touch your feet down. Sit up nice and tall. And now we're going to come feet together. Let your knees be wide enough so that you can reach between your hands as though you were in crow pose. So we're pressing our palms forward, fingers pointing up to the sky, and lifting the heart and pressing the knees into the elbows, elbows into the knees. And then lift your arms up, arms to the right side. Press your elbow into your right knee. Side of crow. Come back to center, over to the right side. Press your elbow into your knee, knee into your elbow. Come back to center and release the feet down. We're going to roll up. Use your hands to help you get up and come into your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step our right foot back into a lunge position. Drop the back knee, and then slowly, like the moon building its energy, its light, we're going to rise up, circle up, look up, and lift our energy up to the sky, keeping the belly contained to support the low back. And exhale, hands come down, lift the back knee, step back, downward facing dog. You can stay in down dog and breathe with your intention. You can take child's pose or come forward to plank pose, possibly lifting one leg. Bring it down. Lift the other leg. Bring it down and then lower down. You might lower down your knees or lower down through chaturanga. But we're all going to come down to the floor, to the belly again. Inhale, lengthen, rise up in your cobra. Exhale, come down. And then we're going to bring our arms wide once again, out to the side. Inhale, come up. Exhale, come down. Hands under the shoulders. Press up and back, child's pose. or straight back to down dog. Take an inhale here. As we exhale, step or walk to the top of our mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend your knees, come into chair pose. Come low, 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 until you come to your seat back into our bent leg boat pose. Some of you might be ready to straighten your legs in your boat pose. Some of you are going to stay here, and then we're going to rock forward. Maybe use your hands to get back up into your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bow. Inhale, rise. And reach up and draw into your heart center. Take a moment's pause. We're going to do one more like that with our boat poses. Inhale, reach to the sky. Exhale, we sit down into our chair pose. Pause in our regular chair pose position, and then keep going. Go low, 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 low. Maybe you're on your toes. And then come down to your seat. Rock back into boat pose. Again, it might just be our bent knee, might be straight leg. And then we're going to come down to our back. Feet are still up, knees are bent. We're going to do that same action that we did with seated bakasana or crow pose. So feet together, knees wide, hands reaching, fingertips pointing up. Press elbows into knees, knees into elbows. Lift your head and shoulders. Reach through your hands. Push through your elbows. Push with your legs as though you're in crow pose. And then let your knees come together. Reach overhead. Let your head and shoulders come down, coming into side crow. Reach your palms forward, fingers pointing up. Press elbow into knee, knee into elbow. Lift head and shoulders. So we're getting into side core here. Release, reach overhead. Let head and shoulders come down. Other side, you know where we're going. Right elbow to the outside of that left knee. Press, lift, head and shoulders up. Keep pressing into the elbow. Inhale, reach overhead. And now this time, let's rock up. And maybe we can get into our forward fold without our hands. Maybe we need to use our hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, we bow down. And inhale, we rise up. Draw into your heart center, coming into mountain pose for just a couple of breaths here. Inhaling and exhaling. Nice even breath. Letting your awareness come back to your intention, your mantra for our practice. Feel that heat, that light, that energy beginning to build, just like the building, the waxing of the moon out in nature. Take one more breath here. And then we're going to move through some crescent moon shapes. So inhaling, reaching up. Exhaling, we bow forward. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, let's step our right foot to the back of the mat, preparing for our crescent moon. And we're going to visualize this crescent moon shape as we rise and focus on building our strength. So let's start by reaching the arms behind us into a runner's lunge. So really feeling that strength in the legs. And then slowly building as we rise and reaching, circling slowly up, up, up to the sky. Press the palms up. Maybe you look up. Maybe you look straight ahead if you're struggling with your balance. And maybe you're able to bend that front knee a little deeper. Maybe you need a little bend in the back knee to allow some space for your low back and sacrum. Take one more breath here. As we inhale up, and then as we exhale, bend the elbows and lift the heart, draw the shoulder blades toward one another. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend. One more time like this. Inhale, reach up. Lengthen up, and exhale, bend the elbows, draw the shoulder blades together. Bring your arms together, lift the elbows, forearms together, palms together. See if you can part at the wrists and keep the elbows together. Bring it back. Draw to your heart center. We're twisting in our lunge position here to our left. So bringing that elbow, or perhaps it's sliding the elbow and bringing the hand to the sacrum as you twist. Maybe it's to heart center. Maybe you reach to touch the earth and reach to that building sky, that building light and the moon. One more breath. And we release. Step back, downward facing dog. Nice big breath here, in and out. You can take child's pose before we do our second side if you wish. Or some of you might want to take a flow coming forward. And if you're in plank, let's lift left leg. Bring it down. Lift right leg. Bring it down. Choose how you wish to lower down. Knees, chin, chest, or through chaturanga. And then choose your back bend. Up dog, cobra, and press back. Downward facing dog. If you're in child's pose, you can meet us in downward facing dog now for one breath. Taking an inhale and using the exhale to step, walk, or float to the top of your mat as you inhale and lengthen. As we exhale, bow down. And inhale, circle your arms wide and draw into your heart center. So let's build our crescent moon on our second side. Inhaling to reach up, circle up. And as we exhale, we fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway, and exhale. Step your left foot back. So we're going to start with our foundation. Remember, we're building that strong foundation for our manifesting, for our intentions. Begin to bring that strength into the legs as we reach the arms out behind us in runner's lunge. And then slowly we build our power. We circle, rising up, just like that waxing crescent. Press the palms up. Find your balance, find your strength. Find your depth, your strong foundation. And then take one more breath, reach up. As we exhale, cactus the arms, draw the elbows down, the shoulder blades together, lift the heart. 2 more times like that. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, cactus, draw it back and lift the heart. Keep the belly contained. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, draw the elbows down. And then bring the forearms together. Keep the elbows together. Part at the wrists and the forearms. Bring it back together, and we're moving into our twist. So remember, you can keep palms together, part the elbows as you twist. You can bring the forearm to the knee and hand to the sacrum. Take whatever version works for you. And maybe you touch the earth and reach for the sky. Reach up to that waxing, growing moon. Stay with your breath here. One more. And exhale, release down. Let's step back, downward facing dog. Nice inhale, exhale here. And then we come forward to our plank pose. We're all going to lower down all the way to our mat this time. And we are going to start with our left hand reaching out in front of us, our right hand palm down on the floor beside our right hip. And then extend through your right leg. Lift that right leg high. You can use this palm to press and support yourself here. And then slowly lift your left arm. Inhale, lengthen here. Exhale. Inhale one more time. Exhale, release this time. Let's switch the arms. Right arm reaches ahead, palm down. I'm trying to not squish my microphone. Hopefully you can hear me. Left palm behind you, beside your left hip. Lift the left leg. Reach long. Lift right palm. Inhale, reach long and lift higher. Exhale, stay. Take one more inhale. Exhale, release. Bring both palms under your shoulders. Inhale, rise up, cobra or up dog. And exhale. Find your downward facing dog. If that means you're pausing in child's pose on your way, do so. But we'll all meet in downward facing dog. Let's take 3 breaths here. Inhale, exhale. 2 breaths. Inhale, exhale. 1 breath. Inhale, exhale. Take 1 more inhale, and as we exhale, step, walk, or float to the top of your mat, using your inhale breath to lift the heart. Your exhale to bow to the earth. Press into the earth. Circle your arms wide. I am. And draw into your heart center. Say your intention. Pause here in your mountain pose. And we're going to go through 1 more warming series before we wind it down. I forgot to bring my phone here to see how long this class is running. So hopefully you're all feeling good. So we're going to go through a series of standing splits and crescent moon, building that energy of the crescent moon. If you want to have blocks handy for your standing splits, please have your blocks at the top of your mat, because they can be handy if you're especially tight in the hamstrings. So let's inhale, reach up to that building light of the moon, and we exhale, we bow down to the earth to stay grounded in our foundation. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands can be blocks or shins. Exhale, let's step the right foot back for our lunge on our first side. So again, same as we did in our last lunge series, of really grounding down into our foundation. Come into your runner's lunge, arms reach out behind, feel your strength in your foundation, and then build as you rise, reach up. Inhale. And so now as we exhale, we're going to bring hands either down to the mat or to your blocks. I'm going to bring my hands to the blocks. We're going to shift forward into standing splits. So we'll take a breath or 2 here, and then we'll move through this a couple rounds a little bit faster with our breath. Exhale, bring that right foot, floating foot back down, and we rise. We build our crescent moon. We rise up. Whoops. Reach up to the sky, lift the heart. And then we're going to come down for standing splits 1 more time. Float that back leg up as we bring our energy back to the earth. Then float that foot down. We're going to build our crescent moon 1 more time. Rising up, nice and slow with your breath. And let's exhale. Bring the hands down. Let's step back into downward facing dog. Just for fun, let's float that left leg up to the sky in 3-legged dog and stretch it out nice and long. Let's step that foot forward. I know it's the same foot. We're going to rise up one more time in our crescent moon. Building that crescent, maybe inviting a little more back bend this time. Exhale, the hands come down. Last standing splits on this side, I promise. Exhale, that foot comes down. Last crescent moon on this side. Build that growing energy, tapas, light, prana. And exhale, hands come down. Step back, downward facing dog. If you want to flow and flush that out, go ahead. We're going to actually step forward to the top of our mat or float to the top of your mat and come back into mountain pose. And you can meet us there if you're flowing. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, bow. Inhale, rise up and draw into your heart. So we have one more side to do. I just wanted to bring you upright before we move into second side. Let's go ahead and flow into our crescent lunge on our second side. So inhaling, reaching to the sky. Exhaling, bowing down. Inhale, halfway lift. And as we exhale, we step back with our left foot for our crescent moon series on our second side. So slowly reaching the arms behind you, build that strong foundation through the legs. And then slowly rise as we turn the palms up, circle the arms wide, reach up to the sky, press the palms up as we intertwine fingers. Take one more breath and release the hands. We're going to bring the hands down for our standing splits, either hands on blocks or your mat. Shift forward, float the left leg up, and you know we're doing this a couple times, so maybe this first one isn't your deepest as the hamstrings begin to release. Take an inhale, and as we exhale, release that left foot down and build and grow your standing splits. Your crescent moon. Build the light and the energy of that crescent moon. Press it up. Lift your heart. Exhale into our hands down for our standing splits. Take one more inhale. Exhale, release the foot down. Rise up into your crescent, grow that crescent moon, and maybe invite the back bend here. Exhale, hands down. We're stepping back into down dog. Take a little break here in your down dog. You know we're going to step forward and do that one more time before we're done. Let's float that right leg to the sky, three-legged dog. Get nice and long. Stretch it out. And then as we exhale, bend the knee, step that foot up between your hands. And we're going to rise into our crescent moon again. Let's reach our hands behind us, build our strong foundation. Circle around as we rise up and grow our crescent. Exhale, hands come down, float the back leg up on an inhale for crescent moon. Standing splits. I'm really confusing you guys here. Floating that foot down, we rise up in our crescent moon. Invite a little more back bend. And then exhale, hands come down, step it back, downward facing dog. Let's take a child's pose. You can come into extended child's pose or arms alongside you to round the back a little bit. Take a couple of breaths in your version of child's pose. And then let's inhale up and find your way to a seat. And we're going to come, let's start with legs out in front of you. Sitting up nice and tall. Nice breath here. This can feel like a lot of workout in your back core muscles and in your hip flexors, just sitting up nice and tall. So if you want to support yourself with your hands lightly and gently, do so. And then we're going to bend the knee. So I'm starting with the right knee bent. I'm going to move over my sit bones over to the far left side of my mat so that my knee can come down, my right knee can come down and still be on my mat. So we're going to alternate between two poses before we wind it down to our back. One of them is Janu Sirsasana, which we did in our new moon pose, but we're going to add, I call it half wild thing. So we'll start by rotating the body towards the straight leg, and remember we're lifting up and over, and if you want to be seated onto a folded blanket to lift your hips a little bit, go ahead and do that now. A hand on either side, and then we're lifting up and over. So we're not doing this. We're keeping the spine long and moving it forward, so that's why the lift under the hips can be helpful for some of you, especially if you're tight in your hamstrings. And so we want to reach that right hand a little bit further than the left, and that helps to draw those right ribs more parallel to the floor. We're just going to stay for a couple of breaths, and then we're going to move dynamically. So just take a couple of breaths for this to start to feel like it's unfolding. And then I'm going to begin to rise up, and as I do, I'm going to bring this right hand, circle it around as I come up, place it behind me, and lift my hips up using this right knee and the left heel into a half wild thing. So it's like we're opening our energy up to that waxing, rising moon. And then we come back down, circle that right arm around, and we come back into our Janu Sirsasana. As we come up, we circle that right arm around till it comes out behind us. Lift up to the moon. Exhale, circle the left arm, circle the right arm, Janu Sirsasana. Last transition here, circle and lift up. Exhale, back into our Janu Sirsasana. And then we slowly rise up. Hopefully that went smoothly for you. We know where we're going for the second side. So starting by bringing our hips over to the right side of your mat as you bend the left. So that way that left knee has something to press into. And if you might need a blanket under that knee, that's okay too. You might still have the blanket under your hips to give you a little lift. Take a moment here seated and just lifting up nice and tall and straight and moving towards that straight leg. And if that knee is kind of hovering, a blanket can be really nice under that left knee. So take an inhale. Remember, we're lifting up and over the thigh, not curling over the thigh. We want to keep the spine lengthened as we come forward and reaching through that left hand a little bit more than the right so that those left ribs lengthen and come a little more parallel to the floor. So this first one, remember, we're staying for a few breaths, just letting it unfold. You might be feeling this in that left hip where the knee is bent. You might feel it in your knee. You might feel it in your low back, in the kidney area where the quadratus lumborum muscle is. It's often tight on many of us. A couple more breaths here. And then we'll start our dynamic movement. Last breath. And then as we start to come up, we're circling that left arm out behind us. The right arm is following. When that left arm comes down, we press into the knee and the heel and we rise up. Open the front body up towards that moonlight. Bring it back down and we circle back into our forward fold, Janu Sirsasana. Let's start that circling, that transition again. We circle both arms, rise up, and exhale. The right arm begins to circle around, the left arm follows. One more time. Circle to the left, lift the hips, rise up, and bring it down to earth. Circle it back. Forward fold in Janu Sirsasana. And then slowly and mindfully come up. Release both legs out in front of you. Let's bend the knees. Maybe we need one more boat pose on our way down. So let's come, you can come into bent knee boat, that's absolutely fine. And then maybe we begin to slowly straighten the legs as we come down. And just land in Shavasana for a moment. Bring your arms wide, straight out from your shoulders. Bend the knees. Bring the soles of the feet to the mat. And then draw your thighs towards your belly, your knees towards your heart without using your hands. So your arms stay out to the side. So just drawing them in, using the strength of your legs and hip flexors. Take an exhale here. And then as you inhale, straighten the legs up to the sky. As you exhale, bring the legs wide like you're drawing a half crescent moon with your feet. Inhale them back to center to reach to the sky, and exhale, draw your thighs into your belly, no hands. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, reach to that expansive sky. As you exhale, using your feet coming wide like you're drawing a crescent moon with your feet. Inhale, bring it back to center. Exhale, thighs press into your belly as the knees bend. 1 more time. Reach to the sky. Open to draw your crescent moon. Inhale, bring it back to center as your feet reach up to that moon that's gaining strength and energy. Exhale, thighs to the belly. And now you can bring your arms. Maybe you want to wrap. Give yourself a hug, rock from side to side. And then release the arms. We're going to move into a twist and then into Shavasana. So you can have your shins parallel to the floor and move into your twist. If that is too much for your lower back, bring your feet to the floor, either hip width or wide, whichever you prefer. And then we're going to bring knees over to the right. And let your head look to the left, and as you exhale, let the belly move to the left as well. Same direction as your gaze. And begin to soften here. Take 2 more breaths. 1 more breath. And then come back through center. Take a moment's pause here in center. And we're moving to the left. Let your gaze look right. Let your belly turn on the exhale to your right. Eyes might close, breath might begin to soften. One more breath here. And then we bring it back to center. One last time to give yourself a hug if you wish. Grab whatever you need for props for your Shavasana. a bolster, a blanket, a sweater. And take a moment to allow yourself to expand. Just as the moon is expanding in its energy and its light, spread your arms one leg at a time, perhaps a little wider than hip width, almost like you're in a 5-point star. And then take a couple of breaths, inhaling, eyes letting closed on your exhale. Taking another big inhale, letting the exhale soften your body. One more big inhale, maybe mentally saying I am as you inhale, gentle little pause at the top of your inhale. And as you exhale, mentally say your intention. Softening, softening, softening. Now allow yourself some stillness, some softness, some surrender for your Shavasana. As you let the power and the energy that you created, that you stirred in your practice, to infiltrate every cell, every system of your body. Energetically, physically, mentally. And perhaps you still want to use your intention as your mantra, saying I am as you inhale, stating your intention on your exhale softly. As you lie in your Shavasana in stillness, softness, and relaxation, without changing anything, simply bring awareness to your navel center, your center of action and power. Your center of confidence, courage and optimism. And imagine a golden light there. Know that you are anchored, that your foundation is firm and true. And feel that golden light of prana and energy and life force pulsing through your entire being here, giving you the power, the energy, and the strength to create. On your next inhale, begin to bring a little movement into your body if you are preparing to move out into the rest of your day. Or perhaps you're going to stay right where you are in Shavasana with your visualization a little bit longer. Either way, I wish to say namaste, and I hope you have an amazing day filled with light and intention. Namaste.